You know, one of these days I'm going to come on and say, I got nothing. But not today. Welcome to the Drunk Linux User. I'm Len. I am the Drunk Linux User. And ran across a couple of really interesting things today. One, if you're on Ubuntu or a Debian-based system and you're not happy, especially with Ubuntu's package manager, there is a new version that in alpha that's out right now by a third party that does have Canonical's people working on it somewhat. And it's the developers describe it as an alternative solution, a software store for the Ubuntu desktop made with Flutter. Talked about Flutter once before. The app development tech Ubuntu is all in on. It's not developed by Canonical, though Canonical employees do contribute to the code, and there's no suggestion it'll ever ship by default on the OS itself. Ubuntu's fork of GNOME software, dubbed Snap Store, ships by default in recent versions of the OS. In fact, the author here, Joey, says he avoids it. He avoids using it as much as possible. The search is slow and results are skewed towards snaps. Although you can select debs in that software package manager. The unofficial Ubuntu software Flutter app. Kind of cool. The app is fast. It has an adaptive UI, so if you make it bigger, smaller, everything adjusts accordingly. You don't have to zoom the window out so that you can see everything, which is really nice. And it makes it so easy to search for, install, and manage Snap apps, through the Snap Dart library. It also can handle the installation of software distributed as a deb file too through the package kit Dart library. This is the sort of modern software store experience Ubuntu should be offering its users. Modern, fast, and well suited to its preferred package format, snaps. And on a side note, he says, I am not the world's biggest fan of Snap apps, but they exist, are part of the Ubuntu, and since I write an Ubuntu-based blog, I have to keep a toe in the water with regards to them. Fair enough. The unofficial Ubuntu store does not let you search the Ubuntu repos for deb packages. You just need to switch the search filter to deb, which in an earlier version of this article he didn't notice. You can also update, view, and remove deb software that's already installed, which is better than nothing. If you fancy taking it for a test run, you can grab the latest alpha from the GitHub release page, download the zip, extract, and run the binary inside. He said he tested it on Ubuntu 22.04 and it just worked. So this is the download page for Ubuntu Flutter Community Software. And it's a fine looking app. If it works out really well, then this may be a solution for Ubuntu users or Ubuntu users, if you're using Kubuntu, whatever, as something different to play around with. I have talked about Unity before, and apparently the developers for the unofficial version of Unity is asking Ubuntu to be considered to be an official distribution of the Ubuntu Universe. So missing Unity, your wait might get over with Ubuntu Unity 22.10, as the team submitted a proposal to be accepted as the next official Ubuntu flavor. Unity Desktop was initially designed for netbook computers, hence its user interface was different from traditional desktops. It introduced the HUD, heads-up display search, global menu, fixed dock, and many other features. A group of open source folks continued its development over the years, and an unofficial Ubuntu Unity remix featuring the Unity Desktop was introduced in Ubuntu 20.04 LTS in April of 2020. I tried it. I had some issues with it, so I stopped using it, and I went to using Linux Mint with the old Unity repositories. Now the creator of the unofficial Ubuntu Unity Remix distribution proposed for official Ubuntu flavor tag in the Ubuntu Technical Board meeting. The board will review the distribution in terms of quality, best practices, lead contacts, and other aspects, which is mandated by the official Ubuntu flavor. It's a lot of work because they're now going to be responsible and would have to be committed to this project. So it's not like, well, maybe I'll keep going with it, maybe I won't. No, they'll have to be committed, or people will have to be committed to this. The distro itself is in good shape at the moment. The recent Ubuntu Unity Remix 22.04 LTS release is excellent and stable, featuring Unity 7.5. That's up from the old Ubuntu Unity from, I think 17.10 was the last version. Hopefully we will see the revolutionary Unity desktop via official flavor in the upcoming Ubuntu 22.10 release due in October. That would be interesting. That would be very, very cool. This is the website for Unity, the Ubuntu Unity. They do have on this page a video, but it's for 20.04. If you're interested in downloading, you can go click the little download button up here at the top, and you can select which one you want. But they do have the latest current LTS version, which has had its first point release, which is 22.04.1. So they are keeping current with the Ubuntu upgrades that have been coming down the line. They also have Ubuntu Unity 20.04, and they have other downloads, I guess, for testing, to include testing releases if you want to. I'm tempted. I am really, really tempted. I love KDE, I love Pop OS, but man, there's just something about Unity, and I don't know what to say other than I enjoyed it. I liked it a lot, so I might install this and see how it works. So I did have something for you today, and we're just going to go ahead and end this with our words of wisdom. Don't drive drunk. Don't drink and drive. Don't go to eBay, Amazon, or use MS Edge shopping all buzzed up thinking you're going to buy the latest, greatest, and coolest stuff, because you're probably not. And in the meantime, bottoms up. Later, dudes.